back to an episode of Off the Shelf. I'm Mr. Tree, and this time what we found off the shelf was...
What did I do last night?
You don't remember?
The last remaining werewolf must be destroyed. It's you, David. Run!
Good Lord.
An American Werewolf in London, the classic American horror film with very heavy comedy elements, released in 1981, directed by John Landis, who is also known for Animal House and Blues Brothers. Special effects done by the legendary Rick Baker, starring David Naughton. This film I thought was incredibly enjoyable, and obviously being a classic film, I definitely would have expected it to be amazing, but the biggest gripe I had for the film, it's too fucking short. I wanted more of it. By the end of the film, I'm like, oh no, that's it? I want more. I want more. Like, I wanted, maybe there could have been like one more night of killing, and then they could have killed him at the end, because I knew that's how it was going to end. I knew by the way, spoilers, by the way, I know the film's like 40 years old, but spoilers. Yeah, he gets shot by a bunch of these cops, and I'm like, man, I want more werewolf murders. I want more shit. I want more funny hijinks, man. Not even like funny hijinks. I just want more werewolf stuff, you know? Even though there was plentiful amount of werewolf stuff in this movie, I just ended the movie like, I want more of this. I want more. And it's just like, that just proves the quality of the film. And talking about quality, let's talk about the classic, absolute, legendary special effects done for this film by the absolute legend Rick Baker. And specifically, the transformation scene. I know. Like, everybody loves this scene. Everybody, and on the entirety of this planet, everybody living on this planet has sung the praises of this transformation scene, because it's that, but there's a reason why they sing all their praises, because it's just so fucking good. It is genuinely, probably the greatest transformation scene in film history, and I'm not even being hyperbolic there. This scene is absolute special effects perfection. It is brilliant, and it truly shows through dedication and hard work how much you can do and how good movies can look with that amount of passion. It truly is fucking spectacular. You know, like the hand, the fake hand stretching out, morphing, the face elongating. And I remember Rick Baker was on a special feature. He was interviewed, and they would spend like 2-3 months on a special effect like rig and the animatronic and the puppet to get it all working, and then then John Landis, he would be like, okay, let's shoot the scene, and it's like 10 seconds to shoot it. All right, that's it, that was good. And I'm like, what? We did all that work for 10 seconds, right? But it's like, then they, like, a couple months later, like, whenever the film was finished, they went to the theater, and when the transformation scene happened, apparently Rick Baker said everybody stand up and started clapping for it, because the special effects were that fucking good. It's so good, even, like, yeah, it's obviously great today, but back then, this was 81. You didn't see shit like this in 81. Yeah, you could see shit like this nowadays, but the reason you see shit like this nowadays is because of this film, is because of Rick Baker, is because of special effects legends like Rick Baker, and this film was truly revolutionary, not just because of just great film, classic film, but because of how, like, groundbreaking for special effects this film was, especially for horror movies, and just movies in general, because the methods they used were brilliant. Even today, they are. Like, truly, they look amazing. Like, it looks like it could be real. This was new, and nobody had seen stuff like this before, and it was just mind-blowing, right? They experimented, they tried all these new things, and it hit the nail right on the head. It was fucking perfect. And, of course, this film won an Academy Award for Best Makeup, which for sure deserved it. And that's back in the day when horror movies actually won Academy Awards, which they don't do anymore, which is unfortunate. But, yeah, absolutely amazing special effects. I've sung its praises. I could sing its praises this whole video. But, mind you, although I sung the praises of the transformation scene, and while it does deserve it, the other special effects in this film, absolutely amazing and brilliant in their own right. Like, the entire puppet, the prop for the werewolf itself, amazing, looks great. I like the way they did Jack's final, decaying form at the end of the movie, where he was like a puppet and he was like basically becoming a skeleton. That looked great. The first phase of Ghost Jack, where he had like all like the big scratch and he was like a new corpse, looked great and disgusting. It was awesome. There was also the weird Nazi werewolf things and the dream sequences, which are really great and weird. Just the special effects in general in this film are great, and it's not just the transformation scene. All of it's great. All of it is great. But let's get away from the special effects and let's talk about the rest of the movie. Now, so basically the plot of this movie is there are these two American tourists. They're gonna try to do like a trip to Europe for like a month or two. Doesn't really matter. And eventually they told not to stray away from the path at night. And of course, this is a horror movie and they don't listen. And they stray away from the path and they end up getting attacked by a werewolf. David's friend Jack gets killed by the werewolf while he, after the villagers feel remorseful for basically sending these guys out to their death, they go out to help them, but it's too late for Jack. But they end up saving David, but he's scratched in the face and he eventually turns into a werewolf. And then Jack throughout the film is telling him, you gotta stop all this. You gotta kill yourself. You gotta sever the bloodline so that you don't kill people. Doesn't listen. One night he turns into a werewolf and he goes on a killing spree, kills a shit ton of people, and then eventually Jack is talking to him again, and eventually he's like, basically, I said, he basically said, I didn't want to tell you I told you so, but I told you so, and eventually at the end of the movie, by the time it all culminates and all the storylines kind of end, well, really it culminates, he turns into a werewolf on a full moon again, and he goes on a killing spree in a porno theater, and that's where Jack wanted to meet. And Jack's great, by the way. I'll get to him in a little bit. But basically, he goes on a killing spree in a porno theater. Can I say porn? Can I say that word? Whatever. A adult film theater. I don't know. But yeah, in the theater, he kills people, a bunch of people. And after he escapes from the theater, he starts to cause chaos in the streets. People are crashing cars, getting hit. He bites off one of the detectives' heads off, or like a person's head off, and it bounces off the hood of a car, and there's just cars crashing and colliding and crushing a cop in between another car, and there's so much chaos, and eventually the cops chase him to an alleyway, and they're like pointing their guns at the alleyway and they're ready to shoot him, but then David's girlfriend from earlier on in the movie, Alex, like runs in and she tries to talk some sense into him and tries to convince him to calm down, but it doesn't work, and he tries to attack her, but then the cops shoot him, and then the bloodline is severed, all the souls are freed, but David is obviously dead, and then the ending shot of the film is everybody gathered around his body, as it's not a wolf anymore. When when a werewolf dies, they transform back into a human, so it's just his body, and it zooms out, and that's how the movie ends. And by the time the movie's over, I was like, man, I wanted more of that. Now, while I didn't have any problems with the ending. I think the ending fit. Obviously, he should have died at the end of the movie. That's how the movie always should have ended. And I liked the ending with the theater and how he broke out and caused chaos and killed a couple people. I do think that I wanted more, I wanted more werewolf chaos, I wanted more werewolf murders, which I think maybe just one more night of murders could have helped, but I'm not saying that this is a problem at all. I don't think the film needed to be longer. I just would have liked it to be longer because it was so good that I wished there was more of it. Not saying that as like the movie was worse because of it. I'm just saying because I wanted more. It was so good, I wanted more by the end. But now, separating from that for a bit, I think probably my favorite character in the movie is Jack. The one who gets killed at the end of the movie. But you may be saying, well, how might you see him in this movie if you don't know anything about the movie? Well, one thing that I really like about this adaptation of werewolves in this version is that werewolves who, like, the person who's the werewolf, whoever they kill, they, like, are haunted by their spirits. And obviously, Jack was killed by a werewolf, and David's a werewolf, so he's able to see him. And Jack is just... he's great. He's really funny throughout the whole film, and he just, like, his makeup especially is fucking spectacular. His gore and, like how every encounter he's, like, decomposing even more looks great. Especially the final appearance we see of him where he's, like, the puppet looks great. But Jack is just really funny. He's probably the funniest character in the movie, and he's just a great character. You'll have to see the movie to get it, but he's great. Obviously also, but the other characters are great. Alex is great, David's great. And overall, like, everybody's great. Like, I don't think there's one character I didn't like and genuinely didn't like in this movie. I think I liked all the characters. Even, like, the small side characters that aren't in it very much are pretty good. Like, the villagers that are, like, in the Slaughtered Lamb, they're great, too. They also have their moments. And, I just overall think the film was very cleverly written, very, very good dialogue, really liked it. And overall, just the film's very, very fun. The film is fun to watch. And for being 90 or so minutes, sure as hell didn't fucking feel like it. To be honest, it didn't even feel like, by the end of the movie, I'm like, wait, that's it? That's the end? Right? Because it fucking flew by. But, yeah, I think I'd definitely recommend this film for any horror fans if you haven't already seen it. I definitely recommend it to even, like, if you can't take, like, because, like, the transformation scene, while amazing, is a little, it could be, like, seen as grotesque or hard to watch, but that is the intention. But if you can't really take, like, gore or that kind of stuff, maybe not for you, but still, would definitely recommend it for people that can take that stuff. If you haven't seen this film, highly recommend it. And at that point, I think I'd give this film a 8.5 out of 10. Very, very enjoyable. Very, very good. Highly recommend it. And, I think I've said all I need to say. I think I've said my piece. So, guys, hope you like this video. Hope you share with friends, subscribe, turn notifications on, comment down below how much you liked it. And I've been Rowan Time HD. Signing off. And, one more thing, guys. Stick to the roads. Stay off the moors.